Hi guys, welcome back. Hope you're all well. So I'm going to do the conclusion today of my supplement regime with the Tongkat and the Fadogia agrestis. I've been taking that for 2 months now. I've done a couple of videos on it so far. One discussing what I was going to do. Number two, about halfway through the 8 weeks, where I had some interesting results that that still left a bit of room for discussion, whether or not I was getting any benefit from this. And then obviously this is the conclusion video. So if you want to skip back and have a look at those, I'll chuck a couple of links up at the end, and that will give you a bit of the background story. So a quick revision. I don't normally do these supplements, especially these test boosters. They're riddled with sort of snake oil and fraud out there. But in this case, they were actually recommended by a guy called Andrew Huberman, who is quite a respectable neuroscientist, and he doesn't seem to have any financial skin in the game. So I thought, hey, it's worth a try. I've done loads of this stuff when I was younger, or the tribulus and deer bark or antler or whatever it was, all that stuff, and I've never had any decent results. So here we go. So I was taking the prescribed amount. I think it was 400 milligrams of one, 600 of the other. I do discuss exactly what I was taking in the first video, but the way around this escapes me right now. And it's generally what they prescribe on the back of most of these pills. I've had a look at quite a few of them. I bought a couple of different varieties from the UK and a couple from the US, just so that there was some, difference in what I was taking in case one was sort of bunk and one wasn't. And I basically did one for 4 weeks and another for 4 weeks. I also experimented a little bit with, I did a week of taking them early in the morning as soon as I got up. I did another week of doing them late at night before I went to bed, and I kept alternating between those two. And I didn't feel any difference in terms of how I took them, and I didn't feel any difference in terms of which ones I took. I didn't notice any sort of peaks or troughs in what I was getting. So what was I getting? Well, at first I felt like I might have had a bit of a libido increase. I don't know whether that was just coincidental or whether it was, some sort of effect that I thought I was going to get that. And, I maybe just sort of thought myself into it. Now, we know that effect is, a real thing, because obviously it's called the placebo effect in science, and it's very well documented, and in fact it's very powerful. So if people strongly believe that they're going to get a result out of something, especially when it involves physical training, stuff like that, then they generally do get that result. And that's because our bodies are capable of much more than we think they are, and a lot of this is psychological. So if you take a substance and someone persuades you that it's absolutely going to make you stronger, chances are you're going to get into the gym, you're going to get it, give it all you got, and you're going to actually be stronger on the day. That substance might have been baking powder, it might have been nothing at all, just an inert substance, but the fact that you thought you were going to be really strong actually made you get stronger. But I'm not sure how much of that would be true with me, because I really was skeptical about this. I didn't actually think it was going to work. Although I would say maybe the libido thing sort of died off a bit, but to be honest, died off's the wrong word. Not great for me either. Doesn't sound good. But that's not what I mean. What I mean is after that first result, it didn't kind of increase further. It pretty much stayed the same, and I sort of got used to it. Then lifting wise, I've already documented my lifts went up considerably. So I was deadlifting about 180s. I wasn't massively pushing it for PRs or anything, but I did end up, I deadlifted 220, which was actually one of my goals. When I started back out on this fitness journey, I wanted to get a 220 dead, and I wanted to get a 140 bench. And to be honest, they were sort of long-term goals. and in the last 8 weeks, you know, I've achieved both of those. My bench max was about 120, and to be honest, I was pretty much pushing for PRs on bench because I'm always interested in what I can bench. It's a really good marker of strength, you know, in a comparison. And I never had a massive bench. When I was at my best when I was younger, I was benching like 180s, which is decent, you know, no doubt, but it wasn't like crazy. And I was stuck at around 120 because I'd had this previous injury which had affected my shoulder and stuff. And I should note I'd also been taking turmeric tablets, and they've really, really helped with my elbows. They've pretty much sorted the pain in my elbows. So I can't rule out the fact that, you know, they've probably been a bit beneficial to all my joints and inflammation, so that we can't say, you know, for sure that they haven't sort of benefited me in terms of the lifting. However, you know, jumping from 120 to a 140 bench, and the 140 bench is going up not easily, but I'm not grinding it up. You know, I'm getting a good rep out. It's a strong bench. It's second rep. You know, I can just about manage a second. That is a grind. But, you know, 2 reps at 140 when before I was grinding out a 120, there's a big difference in strength there. Now, again, you know, my situation is I'm on a sort of lean mass gain, so I'm eating a surplus of calories, but I'm only in about a 300 calorie surplus a day, and they're very clean calories. You know, you guys know if you watched these videos before, I'm eating real clean. The only cheat day I have is a Friday, which is today actually. I just had some ice cream, it was awesome. And you know, so I can't rule that out completely, but again, I've done this a lot. You know, I've trained before at a high level, and it would be very unusual for me to be in that sort of calorie surplus and suddenly my bench jumps up by that quantity. Really unusual indeed. And my body weight hasn't jumped up massively. So if I was in a calorie surplus and I'd suddenly gained like 10 pounds, sure, I'd expect my bench to jump, you know, but even then I wouldn't expect it to jump this much. And I haven't gained 10 pounds. I've probably gained like 1 to 2 pounds in, you know, lean mass. I've been very careful. I don't want to start bulking out and getting really fat and having to cut it all back off again. So that leaves us with the fact that, you know, my strength went up, and I don't think it went up because I really believed that it was going to work, and I don't think it went up for any other reason like the calorie increase. So in that regard, I would have to say I would try these again. You know, I will probably not do them for a while, and then after the summer I might try another run at them and just see how we go. I would recommend that people try them themselves, see how they get on. I didn't have any negative effects at all. You know, the only negative effect was that it cost me money to buy the things. They're not ridiculously expensive. If they were crazy expensive, you know, I'd be reticent to kind of recommend them. And I'm not 100% recommending them to people like these are the, you know, the shiznit and everyone should do it. You know, I'm not saying that. I'm saying I can't explain why I got a strength gain. It was considerable. I was very happy with it, and it would be worth you guys trying it out and then reporting back and saying, hey, I noticed it as well, or maybe you don't. You know, and we're all different, so what may work for someone may not work for someone else. Someone might do it and have amazing, you know, results with it. If someone had really low tests to start with and these things actually work, they're obviously going to have a better result than someone who had pretty reasonable test levels. I think mine were pretty reasonable. Like I say, I didn't get bloods. We're not, you know, a big enough channel for me to be able to afford to get bloods done and whatever. Somewhere down the line, guys, please subscribe. If you subscribe, we can do all this stuff. You know, I'm happy to get bloods done and do whatever. But, you know, that's when we're a lot bigger and I've got hundreds of pounds to throw around on making a single video. At the moment, I probably make about £4 or £5 from one video if it's popular, and you know that just about covers, you know, the very basics of stuff that I bought. So that's why, you know, I'm just not in a financial position. I'm a humble working guy like the rest of you. I'm just an average guy. I'm not earning mega bucks. I'm not Andrew Tate driving around in a Ferrari or anything. So all the subscribers are helping by watching the videos and subscribing. If you watch, please subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. It really helps the channel, and I can bring you better content that way. Conclusion, yeah, I would definitely give it a go again. Like I say, I would urge people to have a think, to try it out. I certainly think if you've got low test levels and you're not prepared to do TRT for whatever reason, and you want to try something that's kind of natural and that might have some benefit, why not give it a go? You know, you're going to spend like £50. There's a lot worse ways to spend £50. You can go for a night out and not really get much out of it, and probably lower your test levels, and you'll pay £100 just to go out to the pub with your friends. So give it a go. Let me know how you get on. But it's a kind of medium thumbs up from me. I certainly got no complaints about the strength gains, and I'm still benching the 140s, getting them out. In fact, I got a 145 out the other day, so we're edging up there. I'm trying to get a 160 up. That would be nice. Okay guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. Leave your comments down below about what you've had. I know a few of the guys watching have been running this as well, so I'd love to hear how you've got on. If you've had anything similar, if you've had anything negative, give us a shout in the comments and we can see how everyone's doing. Thanks a lot. Have a great weekend. Catch you all soon.